Hi, my name is Julian with Lignum Neophyte. In this two-part video, I'm going to show you how I restored my old rubberwood sofa to make it look brand new with just one tool and some household items. While some might think it's an easy thing to do, well, it is if you know what you're doing, and I sure as hell did not when I first started. All I want from you watching my videos is to learn something and not repeat my mistakes so that you can save some time and money, because at the end of the day, we all know how expensive new furniture can be. That's also because I don't have enough money to get new furniture, so this is the cheaper option lah. Okay, on with the video. The first thing you should do is to take the furniture apart so you can work on them one by one. Starting with 80 grit sandpaper, sand everything with your random orbital sander to remove the mold, fungus and old finish. I'm using a 250 ringgit DeWalt DWE6423 random orbital sander, and it's considered not very expensive and it's been working great so far. It allows me to quickly and efficiently sand my workpiece, and you can attach a soft interface pad to get around the round edges. And no, you should not press down on the sander, just let it do its thing and your hand is just there to guide it to wherever you want to sand. And do not move too fast as well, so that everything is nice and round and even, if you get what I mean. I'm talking about the sofa. If you have tricky parts like mine, which is these round legs where a sander can't reach and you can't afford to get a wood file, because if you are poor like me, you're gonna need to make your own. Just get some general purpose epoxy, mix the resin and hardener to a 1:1 ratio. Apply it to a piece of 100 grit sandpaper with a toothpick and wrap it around a normal 2B pencil and hold it in place. Once your epoxy mix has hardened, so has the one around the pencil. Now cut off the excess and you have a wood file to work with. However, you do have to peel it apart once it's worn out and replace it, but it would take a significant amount of sanding until it needs to be replaced. So rest assured, this is the cheapest yet viable thing to do if you're a beginning DIYer. Next, you need to sand everything to 100 or 120 grit to remove the scratch marks from the 80 grit sandpaper. Now here's the interesting thing. It's called water popping. Basically, it means spritzing your workpiece with water to raise the rough fibers and open up the pores of the wood so your finish will seep better into them when you apply them later. You'll also need to let it air dry for 12 to 24 hours and then sand them again with the 100 or 120 grit to remove the raised fibers so you won't be dealing with them when you apply your finish later on. Then I continued sanding with 180 grits and I left everything at 180 grit because that seemed smooth enough for me already, except for the armrest. The armrest is where we'll be touching most of the time and it will affect my finishing, so I continued to sand up to the final 240 grit sandpaper, 320 and finally 400 grit. Oh yeah, don't forget to hand sand the sharp edges with 180 grit or higher to remove splinters. Now, all you need to do is get rid of most of the dust with a vacuum. I did it with a normal household vacuum. And if you don't have one, you can dust it off with some rag and then use a clean rag soaked with paint thinner or methanol, which you can get at any hardware shop. Just wipe it clean, which I did in part 2 of the video. And remember to constantly flip your cloth after every wipe because you don't want to rub the wood dust back on. Now everything is clean and ready to be finished. It's time for me to clumsily put everything back on. And while I'm doing that, I just want to say, if you made it this far into the video, I know you are someone who is keen to learn about woodworking, or maybe if you are someone who just happened to want to watch furniture restoration videos and stumble upon mine, which I keep in short, simple and easy to understand format. And whichever person you might be, if you learned something from my video like the sanding sequence, the DIY wood file and the water popping like I showed earlier, and if you think I did a good job as a beginner, it would really mean a lot to me if you would subscribe to my channel, because my goal is to build a woodworking learning community. Also, you won't miss the second part of the video, which is the finishing part, and it is packed with tips and tricks I genuinely think you should not miss, because it will help you save money, time and make your furniture look nice and smooth with no other extra tools. And subscribing also means you'll always know what other unique DIY stuff I'm up to in the future. And that is it for part 1. Thank you so much for watching till the end, and if you have any questions regarding this video, you could leave a comment down below and I will answer them to the best of my ability. And to those keen DIY beginners, I really hope to see you in part 2 of this restoration video.